back to my channel and thanks so much for watching. Today I'm going to share the probably most requested video I've had in a hot minute. This is the makeup look that I did for my wedding and then for my friend's wedding. That was just a few weeks ago. A ton of you guys were like, share that look. Whoa. And so I decided to just sit down, film it. I talk through the entire thing. I pull you guys in very close so you can see what I'm doing. You see the steps, and you also see how my face shape truly changes with certain things that I do. I am by no means an expert, and that is something that I get asked a lot, is because you're not this makeup beauty guru expert, how did you find yourself being comfortable enough to do your makeup on wedding day? Practice makes perfect. You can get samples of all of the products that I used, or almost all of them I believe, at like Sephora and Ulta, and try out different products before your wedding, before your friend's wedding. I would go and get samples of like a bunch of different foundations, and I would wear them for 12 hours at a time. I would run in them to see how they performed when I was sweating, because I knew I would be dancing at weddings. And so I've really put a lot of products to the test, and I found that the Estee Lauder Double Wear was great for foundation. Like I said, it's an expensive foundation, so you can definitely get a sample of it first if you're skeptical. I hope that you guys enjoyed this look. If you are new here, please make sure to go below and click the subscribe button. My name is Mariah. I put up 2 to 3 videos every week in all different types of topics. We are hate-free here on this YouTube channel. Hate comments get erased because I just don't believe that we should live in a world where we accept hate and just let it kind of go, because that's just how it is. So know that here we only love. You can also follow me on my Instagram right here where I upload daily, or my vlog channel where I upload weekly. I love sharing all kinds of content with you guys. So make sure that you're following me on all platforms so we can be friends. And let's go ahead and get into this video. Okay, so I've got you guys pulled in fairly close because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. I'm going to kind of go back and forth. I find that like a lot of beauty gurus will do like their face first and then their eyes, or their eyes first and then their face. And I kind of feel like it goes a little bit smoother for people who aren't as talented, I guess, as beauty gurus. I am definitely not. And I feel like if I do my eyes first and then I do my face, it kind of gets all over the place. And so you'll see me go back and forth. I'm a creature of habit, and I also like to do things twice. So I think it just goes smoother, but it really is based on just, it really is just based on each person and kind of how they like to do their makeup. So very first, I like to do foundation. Everybody asks, how'd you get the confidence to do it? Honestly, just the products. I used really good products. I didn't skimp out. The wedding, whether you are a bride or a bridesmaid, it's not a time to skimp out on your makeup, to cut corners, to use dupes, because there's a reason that high-end reputable brands like are known for their products. Now, Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation is hands down the best foundation I have ever used. If you are not sure about colors or even like how long it'll last, you can go to Sephora, you can go to a beauty counter, they'll give you a sample and you can use it and see how the color works. That's what I did. For my wedding, I actually wore 2C3 Fresco. Now I'm paler, so I'm in 1C1 Cool Bone. I did use Fresco when I was fake tan for the wedding. So then I'm using the Morphe M439, and I just quickly put all of my foundation on. Now I am also a lover of a beauty blender. What I'll do is I'll put all of my foundation on with my makeup brush that I absolutely love. You can kind of see it's just a little all over the place. And I don't try to perfect it with this brush, because I'm just going to go right back in with a beauty blender and kind of even it all out. Make sure that the product isn't like too heavy in some places or too light in some other places. So that's what I do now. And I spend a little bit more time just with the beauty blender, making sure everything's even. Okay, so now that's done. Next, I'll use a Nyx Eyeshadow Base, and I have found that it works a little bit better if I just use my finger, because, I don't know, I think the warmth of the product needs your finger. This isn't necessary if your eyelashes take up product really well, and I know that sounds weird, but I actually did, my friend who just got married, I did her makeup for her bridals, and I was telling somebody, I think it might have been another bridesmaid, I was like, I've never had somebody's eyelids absorb makeup the way that hers did. It's like I didn't even need to use a base. I mean, her eye just like took the makeup quickly and it didn't need any help. So really just depends. And then I'll go in with the back of the Beauty Blender and also kind of even that out because it does have an orange tone to it. And you can kind of see, I mean, it's pretty much the same color as my foundation. You don't need a ton of colors. And some of the most beautiful eye looks truly are done with like 3-4 colors. I love the Tartelette 2 in Bloom palette. This is the only palette that I took with me to the wedding that I was in, and honestly, I'm kind of pissed I didn't buy it for my wedding because my eyes were super easy to do and it was just quick. So I'm using the Morphe M441 and I'm using the color Smarty Pants. And I just put that all over the lid. Now, a look that the girls did, so the girls actually had their makeup done by a makeup artist, and I never can trust them because I've seen so many makeup artists just botch the jobs that they do. Now, there are some really good ones, and the one that was hired, had I known she was going to be that good, I would have just let her do my makeup. But I've just seen so many horrible makeup jobs done on people, and it's just like it ruins the whole feel of the day. And so I just was like, no, I'll do my own makeup. And I think on a wedding, you want to look like yourself. You should want to look like yourself, not look like somebody that you're not, because obviously this is you and your pictures, and you need to go back and like recognize, you know, your friends and yourself on wedding day. And so I just think you want to look like yourself, but a little bit better. So I had a friend whose makeup I did for the wedding, and I actually did her makeup for the sole purpose of she does not wear anything but like foundation and mascara usually, but I did hers because she needed to look a little bit put together as far as like her eye makeup goes to match the rest of us, and I did so little on her eyes and it looked so good. It was like just enough that it just kind of pushed it over. So next, I can't remember, I think I used Rebel, yeah. So I'm going to use the color Rebel, and I'm just going to ever so lightly put this with the same brush on the outer third of my eye. Didn't do anything crazy. Now this palette does come in a like more warm tone. I wouldn't say this is, well, no, yeah, this is cool tone. It does come in a more warm tone option. I will link both in the description bar below. But I just think that the colors of this one are so classic and so gorgeous that like that's just what you need to do. You need to do something that's classic. Don't go, you know, green. Don't do blue on your wedding day because it's just, although green may look gorgeous, it just won't, the look won't hold time. And 20 years from now, you may look at the pictures and be like, oh, I did green. Not a good idea. So this is actually very similar to what I did to my eyes on wedding day. I just used a different palette. So as you can see, I'm not being super careful. I mean, I'm just kind of, you know, going in and blending it all out. I feel like blown out looks now are kind of the thing. People used to do very choppy looks, and I feel like now we're kind of going a little bit softer. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of Jet Setter. It's just slightly lighter than Smarty Pants, and I'm using a Sigma Tapered Blending E35, and I'm just going to make sure that my crease is a little bit defined. So we are up to 3 colors. That is all we're going to use on our eyes today. All right, so this is usually where I stop with my eyes. Now, I'm going to leave my eyes alone. I'm not going to do my eyeliner until after I've done my concealer because I can have a tendency to kind of ruin the eyeliner. So what I'll do now is my concealer. I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape in Fair Beige, and this is the time that I do all my cream products actually. So I'll go ahead, I mean, and I'm kind of generous with this. On a normal day, I'm not gonna put even nearly half that much, but for something like, you know, a wedding, you want to look perfect. You want your skin to look perfect, so I just put a lot on because it's really gonna hide any flaws that I have, my red cheeks that I have. You guys saw, I think it was on this side, I had like a few breakouts. Now for this, I only use my Beauty Blender, and I take my sweet time. And as you can see right there, I already kind of got some of it on that eyeshadow. So if I had done my eyeliner, there's a fair chance I would have ruined it because, I mean, and I was going slow, I was being careful. So there really is no true order, I feel. Okay, so like I said, I would never do that much concealer on a normal day, but excuse me, because I did put so much, I'm gonna go in with the Sigma Curved Kabuki F83. Now, Sigma has some of the best like curved brushes that I swear money buys. They're so worth it, and totally, they're a little more expensive, but I feel like they're not crazy expensive. You can use, I have a 10% code, and I hate to just like throw that in there, use my 10% off code, Moriah R10. But you can get 10% off. Their brushes are like an investment, truly, and they last so long. So I just kind of go in because I think this like fits perfectly with the shape of my face, and I just make sure that everything looks even. Now, before I set that, before I do any more cream, I am gonna go in with that same brush that I used for my eyes, not with any additional product, and just kind of right here, just soften up that corner. This is totally not necessary if you're not a chaotic mess like I am, but most people are, let's be honest. Now I'm gonna let that kind of sit on my face for a minute, and here I go in with my contours. I'm gonna do my contour with the mirror, so I'm sorry if I like kind of cover it up for you guys. Ooh, them brows. You can use any cream contour stick, but I find that this one works great. I don't cream contour my cheeks, just don't think it looks as natural as I would prefer. I'll kind of show you still how to get that really firm line. But I love this for my nose. So I have not put any powder on yet. And I ever so lightly just carve out my nose. Now, I cannot stand it when people are like, how to perfectly contour your nose. Every nose shape is different. Everybody should contour their nose the way that best suits their face. And this is what best suits mine. So I will kind of take this little rounded out button. That is how I start with my cream. So hold on, gotta respond to this text message, making plans with some friends for tonight. The greatest makeup brushes I have ever in my entire existence used. I have to find the other one. I mean, they changed the game. So Sigma sent me these in PR a few months ago, and I really didn't reach for them that much at first because I was kind of like, what the heck do I do with it? So it's this precision, I don't know if you guys can really see, it's a precision edge brush. It's the P87, I'll link it in the description bar below, but I was like, that is such a weird little, it's similar to like these brushes, but it's small. So I use this one for the cream, and this one, it's got just kind of like a point to it. This is the 40 HD for the powder portion of my nose. So what I love about this brush is I think using a beauty blender on my nose contour can really blow out the contour in a way that's not good. So I'll just ever so lightly take this brush and start to blend out that contour. You don't want to have gel bars on your nose. It's not a good look. It is very important that I say this part. I have noticed if I do not go in with concealer after I have contoured on my nose, then after a while the product will kind of bleed just because my nose is a very oily space. Like I have an oily T-zone, and there is nothing, no product out there that doesn't just like bleed after a few hours because my nose is so oily. So I'll take just a little bit of concealer, and I usually use a brush for this just because I want it to be very skinny and not mess up what I just did. So I'll just put a little bit, usually on only the top part because I'm going to put highlighter here so it's not necessary. And I'm just super careful to fix that highlight. I will go in sometimes with the side and put some concealer on just to make sure that I didn't blow out the concealer or the contour too much. And then I'll just sweep it down. That's just kind of gonna make sure that your nose looks nice and little. And nose contour is not for everybody also. Like, you know, just like how everybody's nose is different, not everybody needs contour. Like the girl whose makeup I did for the wedding, like she has the cutest little nose. And I had never noticed it. I was like, oh my God, your nose is adorable. And I didn't even touch it. I just put a little bit of highlighter on the tip. And it was just like, she's the cutest nose. She didn't need help there. But my nose is a little squishy, so I need some help. Now, you are going to go back over this with powder, so if you do end up messing up something, don't worry too much. Yeah, I mean, it's just a little bit. And I'll kind of make sure everything within here is blended nicely. So, I use the Airspun Loose Face Powder in Translucent Extra Coverage. This stuff is amazing. Totally talked about it in my dupe video for the Laura Mercier powder. It is amazing. And I usually just sit it open on my, like in front of me. Like it's gonna sit open for a hot minute until I'm finished. So this is so important. The steps that I'm about to do right now, if you don't take away anything else from this video, take away from this. So this is what gives you the flawless look to your eyes all day. You can take a brush. This is the Sigma Tapered Highlighter F35. It's obviously a highlighter brush. I don't use it for that. I use it because it's one of the smallest tapered brushes that I have. And I just pack the product in, not super heavy right here, all over where I put that concealer. You do this first just to kind of make sure that you're setting your makeup. I could keep seeing me do, I keep scratching at my nose because I think it's a tick that I get from filming. Like every time I turn on the camera, my nose itches and I don't know why. But I've noticed that that's just a tick I have. So you do this. I will lightly just kind of pack some product on my nose just for right now, but we'll go back in a minute. And then I'll take, this is a Sigma Large Powder F20. This brush is not necessary, and neither is this step, but I like to do it. I will take, this is the Rimmel London Stay Matte Powder. I'll just, whoo, got that everywhere. I'll just take it and I kind of go over my whole face with powder, just kind of make sure everything is set, because I'm an oily person. If you're a dry person, you don't have to do that. Okay. The next step is so important. I'm using the Sigma Edge Kabuki F87. As you can see, this brush has a very harsh point to it. What I'll do is now you're gonna kind of see me carry this brush because if I get any makeup on my chest, we're done. We break out. I'm already breaking out from makeup it's so sensitive. But what I'll do is I will pack the powder onto this brush, right? And then I'm gonna take it and start baking. Some people say this is not necessary. I swear by this trick. This is what makes my face look flawless. Like I saw the pictures from the wedding and I was like, oh, did he airbrush my face? And Sam was like, nope, that's how your face looks. And sure enough, I went back and looked at pictures that I took with my cell phone. Like it gives you an airbrushed look. But like there's a reason that people do it. And I am obsessed. Obsessed with it. Just pack on that powder. Like you want to see that there is powder sitting on your face. I'll go back in with a little bit extra product on the side. I don't really bake anywhere else. My under eyes are kind of where I notice that if I bake them, that everything else kind of looks good and just kind of falls into place. So if you don't want to use a beauty blender for your concealer, I just remembered, I meant to show you guys this. This is a 40 HD Kabuki from Sigma. I prefer a beauty blender, but that is really good for getting up underneath your eyes. So now I'm going to go in with the 40 HD Precision brush, like I showed you guys a little while ago. And you can really mess up your nose contour here if you are not careful. So I just ever so lightly take it and stick it in my bronzer palette. This is the 8H from Morphe. And I so lightly that it's probably almost not even necessary, go over that contour. I'm gonna go back in and kind of make sure that my eyes didn't get too messed up. I think we're good there. I'm gonna do my brows. I am actually changing up my brow routine very soon. I ordered a product that I tried for a sample the other day. And so I'm not even gonna show you how I do my brows because honestly, it's about to change. I will just go ahead and tell you, Gimme Brow is what I'm changing it to. I've been using the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in Soft Brown for some time, and then the Brow Definer Pencil. I'll still use the Brow Definer Pencil with the Gimme Brow. It's just like literally you just brush it across. But honestly, I've fallen out of love with this product. Brows make or break an entire look in my opinion. So if you are not comfortable doing your brows, like I've just said, keep practicing. I practiced so much because even leading up to my wedding, I feel like I wasn't that good with brows, but I wanted to make sure that they looked good, and they actually really did look good on wedding day. So just kind of have them very simple. What I'll do now is I'll take that same brush that I used to put the contour on my, or the highlight on my nose. I'll put some on my hand. There is nothing I despise more than like a sharp white, clearly I have concealed my eyebrows look. So I'll take, this is, I don't know if I said it, a concealer brush F75 from Sigma. And I will like lightly go in and just kind of make sure that, you know, the brow product isn't all over the place. Okay. And then same little small brush before, I'll just go in with a tiny amount of powder. I'm not super stressed about this part. Just kind of make sure it's all set. Now, one thing that I have recently discovered that I love doing, one thing I didn't do on my wedding day, but I really wish I would have, is I have found that, like I said, looks are more blown out now than they've ever been, and I feel like the sharp liner on my face just isn't flattering. Even if I can get the liner perfect, which is so freaking hard, it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look, I think it changes the way my eyes look, like it changes the shape of them and not in an appealing way. So what I've been doing a lot recently that I love, and I actually did it to the friend at the wedding and it looked so good on her too because it gives just a little bit, is I use the Sigma small angle brush. This is an E65. So what I'll do is I will take not black, there's not a black in this palette, Smoke Show, I don't know, that might be black. I use the color Activist. It is like a dark brown, it looks black on screen. I will ever so lightly, almost like not to make a dramatic point, I'll just take a little bit of the product and I'll kind of put it on my eye like liner. Now I've never had a problem with this smudging. You can definitely go over it with a brown liner if you wish, but I just find that this looks the most natural in a way. Like it's still giving you some definition to your eye. You clearly still have put makeup there, but it's not like this harsh black line. Now, just before we wipe off the bake, I'm going to go in and use a blending E25 brush with the very first color we went in the Tarte palette, Smarty Pants. And I just kind of put that all over my lower lid. You want a little bit of color there, but not super dark because it will bring your eyes down. It will make them look smaller, and I love some big eyes. So a little bit of color, but nothing crazy. Then for the last step on the eyes before any mascara, I'm just going to use this color Funny Girl with the same brush that I just used. And I just kind of put it on that inner third of my eye. I think that a little bit of shimmer looks good on weddings, like in pictures, but I don't love it packed on the lid because I think then you're kind of getting out of the natural look. Obviously nobody's lids are naturally shimmery. We ain't fooling anybody, but I just think it looks a little bit better. It kind of just brightens up the eyes a little bit. And then you're finished with your eyes. Now I'm going to go in and just use mascara. Normally I would do false lashes, but honestly I'm not going to do them today because we're going to like going out with friends and we're going to be outside, and whenever I wear false lashes and I'm outside like in the heat, I just feel, I don't know, I can feel them more. I don't know why, but I do. So I'm just going to go ahead off camera, put on my mascara, and I'll be right back. My mascara is done. I will link in the description bar below which one I use so you can just know. But now we are going to wipe off what we have been baking for the last few minutes. Some people say sit it on there for 30 minutes. I feel like 10 is fine. So I'm taking the Sigma Tapered Face F25 and just brushing away that product. I'm not sure if you guys can really see, like I'm not sure if it's coming off on camera, but like it looks truly airbrushed. Like my face looks airbrushed because everything is set, but then there's also this like extra layer of makeup that doesn't look cakey because you've wiped away the excess powder. So it's like your skin is almost kind of trapped the product in a way. I know that sounds a little bit terrifying. That's why I don't do it every day because I don't want my skin to have trapped anything every day, but I just make sure that all of the product is off my skin and we're good to go for the contour. So I told you guys I don't love to do cream contour for my cheeks. Just don't think it looks natural. I know that, like, you know, obviously a big stripe on your cheek, whether it's with powder or cream, looks natural. It doesn't look natural. But I'll use a small Morphe R10 brush or even the Morphe R2 brush. These are my two favorite contour brushes. So what I'll kind of start with, and I get a lot of flack for how much bronzer I put on, but like, I mean, I have a lot of cheek there. I don't know if you guys can see. So definitely just put on the amount that you prefer. I prefer to have a lot of my cheek covered with contour. So I use the color Donut and Blogger a lot from the 8H palette. And this is really just to start. I don't put a ton of product on here. This is just kind of like what you would be doing with a cream contour to kind of make sure you know what you're doing and where your line's gonna be. Usually you go from the top of your ear down to the corner of your eye. You can go a little bit farther. I wouldn't recommend it. So just kind of sculpt out that area, make sure everything looks good, and blend it. Now, this is something I do. I don't put any additional product on it, on the brush, but I do kind of just make sure I round out my cheeks. But you can definitely see it's starting to get that cut there. So, God, my nose itches so bad. My allergies are something serious. So with no additional product, I did not even touch the palette. I'll just go in and kind of make sure that this is like one of the best blending brushes, I swear, that there are for bronzer. And so this is why I use this for my face with no additional product, because I just think something about it, I don't know why, but it is like one of the best blender brushes there are, and whenever I venture out from it, I always come back to it because I regretted not using it. So you can really see we're starting to get that sculpt. So then I'll go in, light amount of product on my forehead. Again, something that you should kind of make sure works with your face. I have a fairly normal sized forehead. If you have a bigger forehead, you can contour more. If you have, actually, like Kylie Jenner is a really good example. She has a 3 head. She has a tiny little forehead. So I've heard and like seen videos of her makeup artists, they put contour on her head just to kind of match it with the rest of her face, but it is so little amount because her forehead doesn't need to be any smaller. It's already pretty small. So as you can see, it just adds a little bit of color up top. Everything's nice and blended, but it's not like, you know, this dark, tiny little thing. Now, I'll go in with the best brush ever. This is a Chisel and Trim Contour F77. Oh, hey, little Sadie. From Sigma. And I'm gonna dip this in my powder. Now, because this is a very straight brush, similar to kind of how I was baking before, you're gonna do that with this brush. Now, as you can see, I didn't fill this entire space with powder because I kind of wanted it to be a little bit darker, but I wanted to make sure that you really see that line right there. And I kind of have to turn my face to the front to make sure I get them even, because there have been a few times that I did not have them even and my cheeks looked wonky. Like I said, just practice. So I'm gonna leave that for a few minutes, not necessarily the same amount of time as like when I was baking, but long enough. This is the time I'll go back in. I use the Sigma Duo Fiber Powder Brush, F15, and I'll put on a little bit of blush. This is the Nymphia Aura Power Base Powder from Sigma. It is a very bright color. It can be a little bit intimidating, but it's not overwhelming. I do like to smile and make sure that I get the right place on my cheeks. Blush, again, something that you kind of have to cater to your face. There's no perfect blush place. It really is just based off your face. I smile a lot. So like right now when I'm just talking, looks a little funny, but when I really like pull up my cheeks, you can see it. finally, I'm going to go in with, where is my brush? The Sigma High Cheekbone Highlighter in F03. Now, I really have been loving this compared to the Morphe M510. As you can see, the Morphe brush is extremely frayed, and I like that for more natural days when I'm not doing, you know, the baking and the full everything. But for something like this, when I'm trying to get the look a little bit contained, I like a smaller, like, blending highlight brush. So this is just the High Cheekbone Highlighter F03, if I didn't say that already. Now, I have like a million Morphe favorites, but something that I have become obsessed with is their highlighters. So as you can see, there's just like 5 different colors. They're all kind of different shades. This is Extra, and then these are Beam, Mirage, Big Bang, and Venus. I don't know which, I really like Mirage. It's kind of like a gold tone, so I'll mix Mirage and Extra. Then I smile again, kind of make sure. And I actually have been lately going back in with this afterwards and kind of blending out that highlight, because I feel like sometimes this can kind of give you a stripe of highlighter. So make sure it looks blended too, and it will look a little bit more natural. See? I put no additional product on it before I put it on my nose, above my lip, and then my eyes. So something about this look that I don't think I've told you guys is as the day goes on, it will look better and better because you've baked, because you've set the look. Like, it looks good now, but like seriously, an hour from now, even 4 hours from now, it's just going to continue to look better because all of these products are going to work with your skin. They're going to look really good. So when they set into your skin, they're not going to look bad. They're just going to look better. Okay, so now we are good to wipe off a little bit of white. And then I will sometimes go back in and just make sure that, you know, I've got a sharp cut. And the face is finished. We are going to put some lip color on now, and we are done. So I've really been obsessed with the Kylie Cosmetics Lip Kit. A lot of you guys ask what colors I recommend for brides for lip products for their wedding day. I wore the NYX Liquid Suede. Really good and definitely not as drying as the Kylie Lip Kit, but what I found that I really love to do is I'll take, this is Candy K, right? Yeah, Candy K for both of these, and then this is 545 Beige Babe in the matte lipstick line from Maybelline, I believe. Yeah. And this kind of just softens up some of that hardness that I feel like this gives you. So I will warn you, when you put this on, it ain't gonna come off. Like, it's just not. So be very careful. I do need to sharpen this. So be very careful and do not overline your lips on your wedding day unless that is something you do normally. I see so many people like trying to do weird stuff on weddings, and I'm like, no, 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 don't you do that. Also, I think you can tell when somebody overlines their lips. I don't care what anybody says. Candy K is a gorgeous color, so. I've tried the overlining. It don't work. It makes me look stupid. It makes me look like I did my lips with my eyes closed. If you do mess it up, like I have a little piece right here, just take a contour brush, highlight brush, concealer brush, and fix it. So then, like I said, this is Candy K, and I can't link it for you. You can't buy it on Ulta.com. You can only buy this one in stores, I think. Which is a little annoying. But you can buy it from Kylie Cosmetics online. Do not buy it from anywhere else, you guys. Oh my gosh. All those stories came out about people having like chemical burns on their lips because they would buy a lip kit from Amazon. Do not do that. Only buy your makeup products from a retailer that is reputable, like Ulta or Sephora, or from the manufacturer themselves, like Kylie Cosmetics, because let me tell you something, it don't matter how long Amazon has had it, how real they say it is, I just don't trust it. That's just my choice. So you can see it's a really pretty like pinkish orangey tone. And then the matte color from this lipstick, this is literally, it's like pushed all the way up. I'm running out. It's very soft. So it's gonna really soften up your lips, if you can understand what I'm saying. And then we just kind of go in, pat everything. I think we're done. Alright guys, and that is it for this video. As you can see, I look like myself, just a tiny bit more glam. I think this is kind of becoming like the normal way that you guys see me because I do my makeup like this a lot when I'm filming, but on a day-to-day basis, I don't do even half of those steps. I think that this looks so good in pictures, and like I've said, it's just gonna make your whole face look natural but better, and it's going to look better the longer that you have it on. So I'm just a true believer in all of these steps and all of these products. Like I said, on your wedding day, on your friend's wedding day when you're doing your makeup, you don't want to skimp out on products. You want to get the best that there are, and truly I think that like the Estee Lauder foundation and the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, you just don't want to get a dupe for those on the day of the wedding. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to go below and click the subscribe button if you are new here. Give this video a thumbs up if you like this makeup look, and I hope that I see you in my next video.